How a Book Gets Published by Jamie Stanton. Table of Contents. Starting with an idea. Page 3. From idea to manuscript. Page 5. Meet the editors. Page 6. Art and design. Page 7. Production. Page 9. The final steps. Page 12. New kinds of publishing. Page 13. What is the future of bookmaking? Page 14. Starting with an idea. Bookstores and libraries hold thousands of books. Each one began with an idea. Perhaps it was an idea for a scary story. Or maybe it was for a book about skateboard tricks or why bees buzz. Ideas for books come from many sources. Often a writer is the one who has an idea for a book. Sometimes people who work at publishing companies come up with the ideas. It takes a lot of work to turn an idea into words and images on a page. This book explains how an idea becomes a published book. These are not books, lumps of lifeless paper, but minds alive on the shelves. Gilbert Hyatt. Reading is a popular hobby among people of all ages. How do books get published? Writers create manuscripts. Agents help writers sell their work. Editors choose manuscripts and help writers improve them. Photographers and illustrators create pictures. Marketing people decide how to sell the book. Artists combine words and pictures to make the pages. Production people figure out how much it costs to make the book. Printers print, cut, and bind the pages and put on the cover. Books are shipped to bookstores and libraries. From idea to manuscript. Authors are people who write books. It's their job to take an idea and produce a manuscript. Not that long ago, most writers used a typewriter or paper and pencil. Most writers now use computers to create their manuscripts. Most writers try to sell their idea first before they finish the manuscript. They try to get a book contract. If they can get a contract, they'll get an advance. An advance is money paid to writers before their book is published. An advance allows writers to complete their manuscript. Many authors hire literary agents to help them sell their ideas. These agents know editors who work at book publishers. Part of an agent's job is pressuring editors to buy an author's work. If they succeed, the writer gets a contract and the much-needed advance. It's not an easy decision to buy a book idea, though. People who work at the publishing company have to answer a lot of questions first. Who will read this book? How many will we sell? How much will it cost? Only if the book is likely to be a success will a contract be offered. Meet the editors. Putting a book together is like making a puzzle. Editors make sure all the pieces fit together. The editorial department performs many different jobs in creating books. Some editors choose which ideas to buy. Others come up with ideas for books. Then they look for the right author to write the manuscript. Most editors work with authors to make a book better. They suggest changes or revisions to the manuscript. Editors may ask an author to cut some parts and make other parts longer. They may even ask an author to start all over and rewrite the manuscript. That's when it's handy to work on a computer. The author and editor work together until both are happy with the manuscript. Then a copy editor reads it to make sure all the details are right. Editors and writers work closely together to make books better. Editors don't just think about words. They also talk to the marketing people. Together, this team comes up with ways to sell the book. Following a book from start to finish is like walking a maze. Some editors have to manage a book's progress along this twisting and turning path. They make sure everything gets done on time. Most importantly, they make sure the book is well written. Art and design. Editors and authors also team up with artists. Together, they decide what kind of images the book should have. They look for the right style to match the author's words. They may want silly pictures for one book. Another book may have a more gentle, wry sense of humor. Most book covers also have images. Book covers need to suggest what the book is about. They also need to appeal to shoppers, so they'll buy the book. Artists who draw or paint pictures for books are called illustrators. Some books use photographs instead of illustrations. Editors or artists search for the photos they want. Sometimes they hire a photographer to take new photos. Even books without pictures have a certain look or design. Artists decide what style of type the book should have. Each type style, or font, has a different personality. Artists also choose the size of the type. Then they decide how to arrange the type on the page. They want it to be easy to read and nice to look at. Readers often don't notice good design. A poor design for a book can make it hard to enjoy reading it, though. Here are some examples of different styles of type. A book holds a house of gold. Lucida Grand. A book holds a house of gold. Times New Roman. A book holds a house of gold. Discus LT STD. A book holds a house of gold. Trajan Pro. Chinese proverb. Graphic designers set the manuscript to make it look like a real book instead of just words on a page. Production. Finally, the words and pictures are ready. Now it's time to make the actual pages of the book. Artists who do this kind of work are often called graphic designers. They use computers to set the words in type. Then they add the images. The designers make sure everything fits and looks good. With computers, it's easy to make changes. The designer makes copies of the pages so the team can check them. The editor, the author, and the artists make sure all the words and images are right. They work until everyone is satisfied. Then the designer gets the book ready for the printer. Printers are usually separate businesses from publishers. They produce the final books. The printer helps the publisher choose the right paper for the book. Pictures in a book have many different colors. Yet, printers use just 4 colors of ink to print the pictures. They mix red, blue, yellow, and black ink to make all the other colors. Designers use computers to prepare the book for printing. The printer uses the computer files from the designer to make metal printing plates. The plates are treated with chemicals so the ink sticks where the words and pictures are, but not to anywhere else. Then the press puts the ink on the paper. Some printers use other processes to print a book. Now, the book is ready to be printed. If a book is expected to be a bestseller, bookstores will ask the printer for thousands of copies before the book is even released. Printers make as many copies as the publisher wants. They use large printing presses to print thousands of books very quickly. Presses may print on large sheets or huge rolls of paper. Presses are noisy. Workers must protect their ears so the constant whooshing and clanking sounds are muted. The printer sets up the book's pages so they will be in the right order after the paper is cut and folded. Machines fold the pages in sections and bind them together with glue. Another machine adds the cover. The book is now ready to be sent to bookstores, libraries, and schools. The final steps. A lot of people worked together to produce a book. Others were busy selling it. Marketing people plan the book's publicity. They send copies to book reviewers. Reviewers write about the book in newspapers and magazines. Authors often travel to different cities to talk to readers. The publisher's salespeople talk to bookstores and libraries. They tell them why they should buy the book. The bookstores and libraries order the books they want from the publisher's warehouse. The warehouse ships the books to those who ordered them. Finally, readers can now buy the book or borrow it from their library. New kinds of publishing. Long ago, printers set type by hand, one letter at a time. Now designers set type and create pages on computers. In fact, computers are changing all parts of the publishing business. People don't just buy books on the internet. They can read them there too. For example, many students look up information in online encyclopedias. You probably know about email. Email is short for electronic mail. Now there are electronic books or e-books. Some publishers produce both printed books and e-books. Others only publish e-books. People can read e-books on their computers or special e-book readers. Some even read e-books on their cell phones. A history of bookmaking. C. 3000 BCE. Sumerians write on clay tablets. Egyptians use rolls of papyrus. C. 105 CE. Chinese invent paper. C. 400. Books are made from folded sheets of paper. C. 1050. Chinese use movable clay type for printing. C. 1450. Gutenberg prints the Bible using movable metal type. 1940s. Paperback books become popular. 1980s through 1990s. Computers start changing book production. C. 2000. Electronic books appear. What is the future of bookmaking? E-books are changing how books get made and sold, not just how they're read. If an e-book is never printed, would you still consider it a book? Authors no longer have to sell their ideas to publishers. They can bring their books directly to readers. New kinds of presses let authors print books as customers order them. These presses may print only one book at a time. It can take just minutes to produce a complete book. This kind of publishing is sometimes called publishing on demand. There are pros and cons to publishing on demand. Good companies that publish on demand will disclose potential problems with this method. For example, on-demand books often cost more because just a few are printed, and authors shouldn't expect huge profits. Most on-demand books sell less than 200 copies. Today, there are many ways to publish a book. In the future, there may be even more ways. Do you have an idea for a book? If so, what's your plan for getting it published? Responding. Target vocabulary. Word builder. The suffix ing at the end of a verb, such as publishing, means that the action is currently happening. This verb form is called a gerund. Copy and complete the chart below. Write about it. Text to self. Write a paragraph about a publishing job that interests you and explain why. Use 2 words from the word builder in your writing. Target vocabulary. Disclose. Editorial. Literary. Manuscript. Maze. Muted. Pressuring. Publishing. Revisions. Rye. Target strategy. Question. Ask questions about a selection before you read, as you read, and after you read. Word teaser. Which vocabulary word is a kind of bread you'd find at a bakery?